Some Bible translations are modifying the famous virgin birth prophecy in Isaiah. Instead of virgin, they are changing it to read as young woman. In Part 1, we saw how the Revised Standard Version made this adjustment in 1952. But what is the actual evidence for making this change? Explaining all the details of this mistranslation would take a lot of time, so I will provide a condensed explanation. Almost all of the Old Testament was written in Hebrew. It was later translated into Greek. The most common Greek translation is known as the Septuagint, also abbreviated as LXX, that is, the Roman numerals for the number 70. The New Testament was not written in Hebrew. Instead, it was written in Greek. When the New Testament authors, such as Matthew, needed to quote the Old Testament, they would generally quote the Septuagint, the Greek translation, or at least a very similar variant. In the Septuagint version of Isaiah, the translator used the Greek word parthenos, which normally indicates a virgin girl. The original Hebrew, however, used the Hebrew word Alma. The notes in the New American Bible Revised Edition explains, Hebrew Alma designates a young woman of marriageable age without specific reference to virginity. The Septuagint translated the Hebrew term as parthenos, which normally does mean virgin, and this translation underlies Matthew 1:23. So this is why Matthew's quote of Isaiah says virgin. Matthew had copied the text from a mistranslation. The New Oxford Annotated Bible contains a similar footnote. Although Isaiah 7:14 is cited in Matthew 1:23 as a proof text for the virgin birth of Jesus based on the Septuagint translation parthenos, the Hebrew word alma simply means young woman, not virgin. As a side note, the New American Bible, primarily used by Catholics, was updated in 2011. This revised edition also corrected the verse in Isaiah, so that it now reads as young woman rather than virgin. Moving on, there is an interesting note in one of the few English translations of the Septuagint. So that is, the original Hebrew Bible translated into Greek, then translated into English. The notes discuss the quality of the original translation from Hebrew into Greek. Some books in the Septuagint show that the translators were by no means competent to the task, while others, on the contrary, exhibit on the whole a careful translation. The Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible, is considered to be the part the best executed, the best translated, while the book of Isaiah appears to be the very worst. So according to these notes, the book of Isaiah was poorly translated from Hebrew into Greek. Around 1947, over 300 years after the release of the King James Bible, the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered. They included a large collection of biblical manuscripts. These manuscripts were dated and found to be about 1,000 years older than the oldest copies previously discovered. 1,000 years older. The largest scroll found in this collection just happens to be a copy of Isaiah written in Hebrew. The scroll has been dated to at least 100 years before Christ. According to the translation on the Israel Museum website, this copy of Isaiah uses the term young woman. If you look at Jewish Bibles that are translated into English, they all use the term young woman. It's only the Christian translations that persist with the virgin reading. There are other verses that use the same Hebrew word. Most Christian Bibles will translate these correctly as young woman, maiden, or something similar. But when it comes to translating the famous verse in Isaiah, Suddenly, it means virgin. So who is the young woman anyway? Well, the text isn't clear. Some say it could be the wife of King Ahaz or the wife of Isaiah. Whoever she is, she's believed to be someone that both King Ahaz and Isaiah are aware of. This is because in the original Hebrew, she's referred to as the young woman, rather than simply a young woman. There is also no indication in this passage that it is talking about the Messiah. While there are a number of scriptures that Jews believe speak about the Messiah, this is not one of them. In Judaism, the Messiah will simply be a regular person descended from King David. He is not considered divine, nor is he said to be born of a virgin. Wait a minute, could this verse be a dual prophecy? Is it talking about a birth during the time of Isaiah and also the birth of Jesus? The Apostle Paul wrote a large portion of the New Testament. What does he say about the virgin birth? We'll look into those questions in part 3. Thanks for watching.